What's up, YouTube fam? So, I'm backing something up. Recently, I just put up a video, this one right here, of 5 bikes you should invest your money into. It was my picks. And I thought to myself, you know what? I better step up to the plate and show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Now this beautiful, beautiful bike I picked up tonight. Here's what the posting looked like, okay? So we could tell from the photos, she's rough, miscared for. Is that the word? Miscared for. She wasn't taken care of by the previous owner. And just totally neglected. Dude had it up for $1,000. At $1,000, I was like, dude, game on. We're on. We're playing ball. Let's get this thing. And so I went up, sight unseen, and I bought this thing. So guys, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, literally. So what I did different though, I couldn't find an 06. And I said in the video that 06 to 08 is the year that you want. Well, this here, Honey Bunches of Oats, is a 2005. See the dingus right there? Now, 2005s were great bikes, but they had that horrible, horrible problem with the valves being just super soft on the seats and super hard on the valves, or maybe it's the other way around. The seats were super hard and the valves were super soft. I think that's what it was. And the fix was to take the OEM valves out of this thing and put some stainless steel valves in it. You could go with Pro X, Kibble White if you want to spend the good money. But there were so many options out there. But all you had to do was change the valves. Throw a new piston in it while you're there, new valve springs, and you are literally off to the races for hundreds of more hours. But this poor old dog right here, well, she gave up the ghost in a spectacular manner, but not rod exiting the case or anything like that. So we don't have a total bummer of a bike here. But let me show you some things that I've already found that are sus at the most, but makes me wonder. First, so when I went over and picked up this beautiful gem, I mean, come on. If you guys know how to judge bike by a lot of hours, is going to be the boot wear. When it starts to wear away the A, like the casting of the A, this thing's had a lot of boot time on it. Frame's nice and polished from where, the previous rider had just been riding it. Foot pegs are nice and rounded off. Yep, has a lot of hours. Foot peg, crazy loose, or foot peg shift lever, crazy loose, right? Another sign, tons of hours. This is from hitting rocks. This is, laying it down. You can make a new shift lever do this in no time, but the clevis is what's worn out here. That's just from a lot of up and down movement. Pushing down, lifting up, pushing down, lifting up. Obvious things, been scuffed up, bent up, tore up. It did not come with black plastic, so we know that these are not OEM. Brake line routed on the wrong side of the fork. They're supposed to go on the inside of the fork, down to the caliper there. No big deal. You can see a string of oil coming around, which only can mean one thing. If you said it already, fork seals. Yep, fork seals are toast. Hopefully we don't have a dented or scratched tube, because these are good forks. I said that in the video. Moving on, I noticed something only after I picked up and brought it home. The fuel line isn't connected. So I'm thinking myself simple, right? Ain't got no gas in it, but it does. It does have a little bit of, I'm sure, pickled gas. But because this is taken off, it tells me something. It tells me homeboy knew what he was getting rid of. Now, yes, the engine is completely locked up. So much so, when I got there, one of the things you guys can do to tell if it's a bottom end blow up or a top end blow up is put it in gear. Rock it back and forth. So if it's a top end, more often than not, when it's a top end, the piston will go back down. But when it comes back up, it gets stuck because it's hitting a broken valve or chunk of piston. I don't know, something. But usually the piston will go down a little bit and it'll complete that stroke until it comes back up. So it'll have like almost 180 of turn in the motor. This has 0. I put it in gear, rocked it back and forth. It is locked solid. You grab that. She's locked. Just take my word for it. So when I was there, I immediately popped coolant. Bone dry. Take my word for it. I know it's hard to see. Bone dry. Bone dry. So where did the coolant go? So I started looking around. Reader's dry. No hoses leaking over here. Come over this side. See a little bit of moisture in here. You guys can see it down in there. Okay, so we got something, maybe a popped hose, come around the front. Well, this is missing the radiator louver. And then you look closer, the bottom of the radiator is kind of dirty and muddy down in this little trough here. And right in there, this washer. So this radiator got laid over so hard that washer pinched one of these veins in the radiator, started spilling coolant. So when homeboy saw steam pouring from his bike, he didn't think to himself, I better turn this thing off. No. He thought to himself, I need to ride this thing faster because it's getting too hot. Just me putting around doing wheelies or whatever. I'm guessing wheelies because look at that rear tire. I mean, come on, guys. But he was riding around and just this thing was blowing steam and he just kept riding. I need to go faster. It's overheating. Just poor ownership. So that's one thing. It is out of coolant. Completely gone. So that doesn't say good things for up here. Down here, this is very interesting. So I got down. Okay, so oil level on these Hondas is supposed to be in between the low and the high. It could be at the high, that's fine, but you don't want it at the low. But in the middle is typically where you want it. So it's like, well, how much oil does this thing have in it? Let's look. You guys see it? It's literally right there. Look at, poke my finger. Look at that. She is plumb full of oil. That's wrong. So it's overfull, and you can oil lock an engine when there's too much volume of oil in these things, and it will make these things bog, run like crap. And because this is the engine gear that has the two separate sides, this side right here is for all the crankshaft and for blah, 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 blah. It's for the combustion side, goes in the stator. Oil pump takes it up through the head, through your cam system. The tranny side smells like burnt clutch, just really, really bad. So it's possible. Dude locked this thing up, you know, checked his oil, maybe it was out. And he filled it up thinking that if he filled it up, he can get it unstuck. Well, I don't know. Either way, I know that we have a 2005 CRF 450R that is locked shut. Let's dive right into this pig and figure out what happened. I'm going to spare you guys all the time-consuming stuff of pulling the tank, pull the seat, pull the subframe back, removing the pipe, taking off the valve cover, dropping the radiator hoses, all that stuff, because it's time-consuming. I want to make this as short a video possible. It's probably going to be over 20 minutes knowing me, but I want to show you guys what the devastation is and how we're going to fix it and back up what I was saying about these bikes. So actually, just real quick, I just started into it, right? Pulled off the seat. Let's look at the air filter. Okay, not too bad, right? So I was starting to reach and take it off, but then I feel something. What is that? I had to pick up the camera. The heck? Now the astute of you will know exactly what this is. This is an alignment dowel for the cylinder. These, where the cylinder studs go down, these plug into the block and into the cylinder to align the cylinder correctly with the lower deck. This was in the airbox. Something tells me you already had this thing apart. Let's keep digging. Okay, I'm gonna come out and say it right now. Homeboy knew exactly what the problem is when he sold me this thing, and I've been had. Now, does that make me extremely roasted and pissed off that he just didn't tell me what the matter was? A little bit. But at the same time, we did get a very good dirt bike for a very good price. So let me show you why. I know he knows. I knew he knew, but now I know he knows. Yeah. So I said it had no coolant. It didn't have any coolant. I showed on the bottom of the deck here how it was soaking wet. But why is the cam chain already loose? Huh? And, but that bolt's still on. All the motor mounts came out so easy, like if they're just hand threaded. Can't run a bike like that. Certainly cannot. Nope. Tried it. Doesn't work. So what the heck? Come over here. Hoses are definitely disgusting. All the exhaust studs came off. They're about finger tight. Positives, if there is any at this point, I could see valves. I can see valves. I can see they're connected somewhat. Intake valves are in there, I guess. I mean, you would see no stem at this point, which would be a big no-no. I can't get the camera in there, but I can see a valve stem. Still doesn't mean that the valve head didn't break off and the stem is still stuck in there. That's completely possible. The other thing is, carburetor is completely loose. I did not even set a wrench on it yet. He knew. He already took this thing apart. Someone told him what the problem was. I'm sure it's devastating, knowing what I've seen already. But let's see what it was. Enough of that. Let's just get to it. So, problem discovered. So upon removing the cam tower here, looking at the valves, this valve did not have a shim when I pulled the cam tower out. See how there's a shim in that one, but no shim in that one? Shim, no shim? Well, so I went over and I was like, huh, that's interesting. Why do you not have, oh, you're not supposed to be able to do that. So we have a broken valve. That is exactly what I said in the video, that these Hondas were great, but the one thing to 2003 to 2005 was they had caca valves. We'll say caca valves. And this one, proof is in the pudding, guys. Let's just pull on this thing here. See if it's completely mushroomed on the other end. Yep. So we're gonna have to beat that thing out with a hammer, which is gonna destroy the guide. But we know it needs a cylinder head. It's gonna need a piston and probably a crank. This is gonna need a full engine rebuild. But let's get this head off. All right. I thought I'd leave the juicy part for the camera here. So started to pull the head off. Haven't seen in yet. I already know they've been in this motor, so I do not expect to see a broken piece of a valve in here, because now we know that that is indeed the problem, because you could spin this and you could pull up on it, push down, and valve's broken, right? But I expect not to see the head of that valve in here, but I do expect to see a lot of damage to the piston and probably a lot of damage to the cylinder head too, which is fine. We'll get into that in a minute, but let's go ahead, real time here, and pull this baby off. Oh. Spark plug tube just came right out. That's okay. Again, that's fine. Okay. Trying to do this one-handed.
She said.
That's my joke. Damn it, Dwight.
Come on. Oh, boys, I see the problem. I can't wait to show you it. I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Okay. Heads off. Let's look at the bottom. Ready? 3, 2. Oh, yeah. Oh, that thing is just toast. No reusing, no fixing. You ready, guys? You ready for this, though? It gets way better than that. You ready? Oh, yeah. This thing went kaboom, guys. This was no little blow up while he was putting. For that to happen to that piston, I've seen it happen only in Hondas. I know it happens to other bikes where the piston, I take that back. I saw it in one Kawasaki where the piston fully wraps sideways in the bore. I have seen it before, but oh my God, there's a hole in the top of the, I can't wait to see this. All right, that's a bolt to the base. All right, let's see if we get the cylinder off here. See, like, I just don't know why he didn't leave it apart like this, so then the potential buyer could come up and be like, I know what's wrong with it. It got a piston hole in it. Like, you know, be serious. Why did you, see that dowel pin? And you see how that one's missing, and it was in the air, or it was right there. It was in the air box. Come on, guy. Come on, guy. You knew better than that. Apparently not. All right, come in with the other hand here. Oh, it comes off easy. There we go. Cylinder. Let's have a look-see at the cylinder. Obviously, huge gouge. Huge gouge. Crack in the cylinder in between the two gouges. Right there. You can see that crack right there. Yep. Cylinder is kaput. So, this is backing up what I was saying, and we're going to do something about it, guys. We're going to do something about it. We are not going to just part this bike out and let it go to dust. No. We're gonna save it. Oh, look at, there's the other piece of the valve. Woo! Look at that. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Let's see what other treasures we got down there. Oh my goodness, just other pieces of piston. Look at all, oh, and a nitro glove. Like, you really think, like, oh, this is the first time, like someone, like a kid gets a hold of it, right? And he's just going through and doing this, and then, oh, like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, I gotta save all this shrapnel. I've never seen this massive of a blow up on, I'm gonna say period. Like, I've seen rods go through the cases and stuff, but this is just, you gotta, oh my goodness. Yep. There is so much sharpening down in there. Oh man. So if this ever happens to you guys, do not reuse the crank. Sure, the crank spins, but what happens is with this much force to break everything, the rods bend, and they may look straight as an arrow to you and everything looks fine. I promise you, they all bend. They're so hot. And then you put this kind of driving force behind it, like, what that hole? Let's just, what the heck? Look at, like, have you guys ever seen, drop it down in the comments. It looks like it was shot with a 30-06 right through that thing. I don't even know what that could have come from. Like, was that a part of the spark plug? No. Spark plug's kind of there. Wow. I mean, jeez. Oh my goodness, guys. This is special. This is really special. Wow. Okay, let's talk about it. All right, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I was not expecting this, but this is what I'm going to leave with you. When I did that breakdown of the top 5 bikes I'd invest my money into, I started with an 06. This still could happen on an 06. It's least likely to happen on the 06, but it does happen. So let's just take that away right now, you guys. I'm not saying that if you get an 06, this will never happen. Valves are what make 4-strokes live and die. And if you're not staying up on your maintenance on them, things like this will happen, and you will hate yourself forever for not just checking your tolerances. This could have been avoided. This was simply a valve that stretched way too much and started hitting the top of the piston. Piston came up, smacked the valve, bent it, and this whole thing just started. It bent the valve, piston came down, came up again, broke the head of the valve off. These engines rev high. I'll just say high because I don't know what he was doing, but he had to been 7K on the revs at least for all this to happen. He wasn't putting around. He was pinned, doing wheelies or something, whatever. Either way, this engine is not garbage. The benefit here that we have going for us, rod did not go through the cases. That's fine. This is simply a full engine rebuild with a cylinder and cylinder head. So, swiping up here, I went on the Rocky Mountain. For under $700, I could get the Wrench Rabbit rebuild kit. Use them on hundreds of bikes. They run fantastic, especially in the 4-strokes, and you never have any problems with them. I would say that they don't last as long as the OEMs. The OEMs you could get 300 hours out of with replacing all the bearings in the bottom end and doing, a complete job. But look at this. It's we could do it so cheap. And then we'll be in eBay looking for a cylinder head that I'm probably gonna look for one off of a 06. But if we find an 05, we'll buy valves. Cylinder kit, we'll just look for an OEM cylinder, something easy. Around $1,500 is what I'm predicting we're gonna be into this. We bought the bike. Here's this. You guys didn't know this. He was asking $1,000. Picked up the bike for $750. So that helps. I wish I got it for $500 now. And I know the guy knew. I know he knew. This thing's been taken apart. And So what that leaves us with is $1,500 just to get it running, okay? That doesn't include all the shimming. I'm gonna have to go and shim the valves. Gonna have to get a new timing chain. I think that actually comes in the kit, so we'll reduce the timing chain, remove the timing chain, whatever. It's gonna need fork seals. It's gonna need grips, bars, levers, throttle tubes, because check this out. I mean, and homeboy was riding it like that. The words, they leave me. I just don't have them anymore. Radiator smashed. This could be upwards of $2,000 with our $750 input on that. Still needs tires, still needs a lot of things. This thing took it hard.
Is this so hard? That's what she said.
And I'm sad. I'm sad to see such a great bike go through this, but this literally goes back to what I was saying in that video, guys, about the bikes you need to buy. And we're going to save it. I'm saying it right now. We're going to save it. I don't know what we're going to do with it. Probably try to flip it, because I want to get a bike to give away here on the channel. And I thought about, okay, maybe I'll just rebuild this thing and give it away on the channel. We'll get AHM to do since this is his favorite suspension in the world, and get AHM to do his voodoo, I don't know, it's magic, on suspension, front and rear. Lace this thing up with some brand new wheels, fresh engine. Let me know down in the comments. I'm going to leave it there. Would you guys want to win this bike? Or should I flip this and try to get you guys a newer two-stroke? That's kind of where I'm at with this. So you guys let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to get to ordering some parts, because holy mackerel, I might as well just buy a whole new engine. I know I don't have to do that, but let's be honest. Guys, she did us dirty. Actually, the previous owner did us dirty. Bike just did what it was told. It's a sad day, but we're going to revive it here on the London Mex channel, because that's what we do. We take old piles of junk and we make them great again. Guys, thank you so much for watching tonight. It would help me out a lot if you sent me a super thanks or use the Rocky Mountain link for any of your shopping down below. We got a lot of parts to order, and I'm going to be reaching out to them to get everything we need for this bike. But definitely let me know down in the comments, guys, what we should do with this thing. Should I fix this thing up to just so freaking badass and give it away to one of you guys? Or should we flip this and get something newer, a newer two-stroke, something like that? Like my number 2 pick, you know, the YZ250. Try to find like a newer YZ250 or something like that. Either way, I leave it up to you guys. And we'll talk to you on the next video. I love every single one of you. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. That's a promise. Peace out. Bye-bye.